So Troy Baker had a podcast about The Last of Us 2 and a few other people on his podcast. Went on for an hour, and it's on his YouTube channel, I believe. And the topic of The Last of Us, the first game, came up. And it talked about the character of David and how he compared David to Joel. Let's give a little listen here.
Character of David. Tell me one thing that David did that was wrong. You tell me one thing that makes him the bad guy. I can state a case that David is, he and Joel could be mirror images of each other.
Okay, so David is a minor antagonist of The Last of Us. It's when Joel and Ellie are going through Colorado, the university, and a group of people attack them. Joel falls a great height. He gets injured. He gets incapacitated. And Ellie has to fend for herself. And Joel's pretty much knocked out. So she has to go hunting for food. And she kills a deer. And she encounters David and James. And they're like, hey, you know, we're gonna trade you some medicine for the deer if you want, because you want to help whomever. And they're great. Okay, we'll do that. And it ends up happening is while they're going to get the medicine, they have to fend off some zombies. So David and Ellie are fighting together. And while they're taking a breather, it's revealed that David was looking for this crazy guy and her daughter who were invading this person's property, or essentially the university were their property. And he's not scared of telling her this. And Ellie's aware that, holy crap, this guy's my enemy. So David was actively trying to kill Ellie. And yet he's so friendly all of a sudden. What's going on? Why would this happen? At that point in time, James comes back with the medicine, and instead of actively killing Ellie, David lets her go. And at this point, Ellie's like, okay, we're done here. I'll just run back to Joel and get him better, and we can keep going. And what ends up happening is David used her to track her down so he could find out where she was and where Joel was, because they wanted to kill them. So they end up trapping Ellie, capturing her, and throwing her in a cell. And if you know anything about James and what he says, he refers to her as David's new pet, implying this has been done before, which implies that David is doing more than just slaughtering them. And it's revealed that David is the leader of this group of cannibals. So not only are they going to hunt down Ellie and Joel for food, they're probably going to do some nasty things to Ellie in the process, being a pet. And luckily, Ellie's rather clever. She manages to escape, and they're about to slaughter her for food. And then she says, hey, if you eat me, I'm infected. You're going to get sick. And she shows off her scar. And that gives her an opportunity to cut up or escape by killing James and run away. Unfortunately, this ends up in a cat and mouse fight between David and Ellie. And this is the famous scene where Ellie manages to grab hold of David's cleaver or machete and hack him to bits in a rather rage-filled trauma. And it was just a fluke that she managed to grab that thing. So here she is hacking away.
David repeatedly. And
boom, and she's just wailing away at him, and then Joel comes in and stops her down, so Joel's all better. So what I'm trying to say is David was an antagonist, a minor antagonist, but still an antagonist, which doesn't imply a bad guy, but then we are revealed he is a murderer, he is a cannibal, possibly a sexual assaulter or rapist, and he manipulates people, and he's a leader of this group. When Ellie and Joel were just passerby, they just wanted to get through an area to get to Seattle. So how do you not see that as a bad guy? I don't know. Most people in these stories are gray, but this is like, how many more things does David need to do? And to compare him to Joel on the gray scale is a bit different. Joel is trying to get by. Yeah, he's not perfect, but he's not eating people. He's not torturing people for the purposes of, I don't know, entertainment. He's doing it for a reason. Whereas David is potentially a rapist and a cannibal and someone who traumatizes people and manipulates them. So he's a bit on the darker side. than the gray of Joel. Anyway, to end this off, here's a cool little clip of Nolan North, who's actually the voice actor of David, which is cool. There he is, Nolan North. And the motion capture, very cool. Here's what he has to say about The Last of Us Part 2.
The whole purpose of this game is about the cycle of revenge. If she kills Abby, then Lev is going to come after her, and it's just going to keep going and going. You got to draw the line somewhere.
Could then just kill Abby and Lev. See?
She could have. But...
Your Uncle Noli knows. You want to take out all the enemies, so you're alone. It's just you and Anthony sitting in chairs.
There we go. There is a voice actor who knows what the hell he's talking about. The entire plot of The Last of Us 2 is like, oh yeah, maybe we should have made the game. That's all she had to do to end the cycle of violence, if that was in fact the point of the story. Who knows with The Last of Us 2? It's all interpretive, right? Everyone has an opinion at the end. It's all about compassion. Anyway, thanks Nolan North. Thanks for listening, guys. Have yourself a great day.